King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark have stepped back into the public eye with the kind of quiet authority and graceful composure that has defined their reign, returning from their summer break not only refreshed but with an unmistakable air of purpose. The Danish monarch and his Australian-born queen consort have resumed their royal duties after weeks spent away from the relentless spotlight, their presence instantly reigniting public fascination. Yet, while the adults return to the formalities of state and ceremonial obligations, it is the changes in their children's schooling that have sparked the loudest conversations across Denmark, and far beyond. Their summer had been, as always, a carefully balanced mix of privacy and tradition. For the Danish royal family, summer is more than just a pause in the official calendar. It is a deliberate retreat into family life, a moment to breathe, and a reaffirmation of the ties that keep the monarchy grounded in an age of constant media intrusion. This year, King Frederik and Queen Mary divided their time between the royal retreat of Graston Palace, the historic summer residence that has welcomed generations of monarchs, and moments away from Denmark entirely, shielded from the public gaze. There were quiet afternoons walking along the palace gardens, boating excursions that recalled Frederik's lifelong love of sailing, and shared meals that allowed them to simply be parents rather than sovereigns. But as the summer waned, the reality of a changing school year loomed. Prince Christian, now a young man firmly stepping into his role as Crown Prince, is navigating the pressures of public life while preparing for the final stages of his education. Princess Isabella, poised and independent, faces the transitional years that bridge adolescence with the greater responsibilities expected of a royal in her position. And the youngest, the spirited twins Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine, are beginning to feel the subtle shift from the carefree primary school days into a more structured academic routine. The royal household has confirmed that this year will see notable changes in the children's educational arrangements, changes that, while carefully considered, signal a significant step away from some of the long-held traditions of Danish royal upbringing. This is not simply a matter of moving from one school to another, it is a recalibration of the family's approach to balancing their children's privacy with their preparation for a future in which public life is unavoidable. It is, in many ways, the most modern choice the monarchy could make, a decision that reflects both the evolving expectations of the public and the very personal wishes of Frederik and Mary as parents. Across Europe, other royal families have faced similar moments of decision. In the United Kingdom, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, made headlines when they moved their children to Lambrook School, prioritizing a countryside environment over the more traditional London options that had served previous generations. In Spain, King Felipe and Queen Letizia sent Princess Leonor to the UWC Atlantic College in Wales, choosing an internationally focused education that diverged sharply from the cloistered settings of old royal schooling. Even the Norwegian royal family, with Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit, opted for a more open and less rigid schooling path for their children. The Danish royal decision now joins this quiet wave of change sweeping through European monarchies, a recognition that the old ways cannot fully prepare young royals for the challenges of the 21st century. Yet, in Denmark, this is not without its complexities. The monarchy has always maintained a careful balance between visibility and privacy, between tradition and progress. Every school choice for the royal children is weighed not only against academic standards but against the optics of accessibility, relatability, and public sentiment. The people must feel their royals understand them, yet also expect them to uphold a standard above the ordinary. It is a tightrope walk, and Frederik and Mary know it well. Even as the king and queen resumed their official engagements, presiding over state meetings, attending cultural events, and preparing for upcoming international visits, the conversation among royal watchers and the Danish press remained fixed on the schooling announcement. Was this a bold step toward modernity, or a subtle retreat from the scrutiny that had surrounded the children's previous institutions? Either way, the decision has given new shape to the narrative of the Danish royal family, one of a modern monarchy deeply attuned to both its heritage and its future. The return to public life after a royal summer break is always a delicate transition. For King Frederik and Queen Mary, it carries the additional weight of symbolism, a signal to the nation that their leaders are back on duty, ready to engage with the responsibilities of the crown. This year, however, the shift feels even more poignant. Perhaps it is the awareness that their eldest son, Crown Prince Christian, is stepping into a new chapter of maturity, standing taller not just in height but in presence, carrying himself with an awareness of the future role he will inherit. Or perhaps it is the understanding that every decision they make now, from official engagements to the choice of schools, will shape not only the personal lives of their children but also the public perception of the monarchy for decades to come. The announcement of the children's schooling changes came with a notable absence of grand ceremony. There was no staged photograph of the children in uniforms on the palace steps, no lengthy press release detailing every aspect of the new arrangements. Instead, the royal household opted for a quiet confirmation, allowing the news to spread organically through trusted outlets. In doing so, Frederik and Mary signaled that while they understand the public's interest, they are determined to maintain a boundary, one that protects their children's right to a normal, unpressured academic environment. Still, the speculation grew. For Princess Isabella, whose poised public appearances at recent royal events have made her something of a style and personality icon in Denmark, the new school year marks a fresh phase. Moving away from the familiar routines of her earlier schooling, she will now navigate a setting designed to challenge her both academically and socially, encouraging independence while still offering the support a young royal requires. For Vincent and Josephine, the change is subtler yet no less significant. As twins, they share a unique bond, but the royal couple has been deliberate in ensuring their individual identities are nurtured, and this shift in education is part of that plan. Observers have been quick to draw parallels to other monarchies, particularly to the way the British royal family has managed the education of its youngest generation. In the UK, there has been a conscious move away from cloistered and elitist institutions towards schools that promote a balance between rigorous academics and holistic development. The Danish choice mirrors this, though with the distinct Scandinavian emphasis on egalitarianism and social integration. It is this cultural influence, the belief that even royals should walk among their peers without undue privilege, that has long set Denmark apart in the royal world. Behind palace walls, the decision was months in the making. Advisors, educators, and even close friends of the family were consulted. King Frederik, himself a product of a blend between traditional royal upbringing and broader worldly exposure, understands better than most the importance of giving his children both roots and wings. Queen Mary, whose own formative years in Australia were defined by a relatively normal suburban upbringing, has always advocated for an approach that fosters resilience, empathy, and adaptability. Together, they crafted a plan that would protect their children's well-being while still preparing them for the unique pressures of royal life. The media, of course, dissected every detail they could glean. Was this change prompted by academic concerns, social dynamics, or the broader desire for privacy? Did incidents in the previous academic year influence the move? The palace remained steadfastly silent on specifics, a strategy that only fueled public curiosity. Yet, there was a general sense of approval from the Danish public, whose trust in Frederik and Mary has been built on years of seeing them as attentive and devoted parents. As the first days of the new term unfolded, the king and queen re-emerged in Copenhagen for a series of official engagements. Their first public appearance after the summer was at a cultural event celebrating Danish innovation, a cause close to both their hearts. Photographs captured them walking side by side, smiling easily, the queen in an elegant yet understated dress that spoke to her signature style, approachable, polished, and effortlessly regal. The king, in a tailored navy suit, carried himself with the easy confidence of a man equally at home in a boardroom as he is at the helm of a sailing yacht. There was no direct mention of the schooling changes in their public speeches, but subtle references were made. Queen Mary spoke warmly about the importance of education in shaping the leaders of tomorrow, a remark many took as a nod to her own children's new chapter. King Frederik, in a brief but heartfelt aside, noted that, every season brings its changes, and with change comes opportunity, words that seemed to carry both a personal and national resonance. Royal watchers were quick to connect these remarks to the broader narrative of a monarchy in transition. The past year had already seen shifts in the Danish royal landscape, with Queen Margrethe stepping back from certain duties and passing the crown to her son. Frederik and Mary are now firmly at the helm, and their approach to parenting, careful, deliberate, and quietly modern, is being watched not just in Denmark but across Europe. The choice to alter their children's schooling is part of a broader strategy, to present a monarchy that is both relatable and relevant. In an age when public opinion can shift with a single viral headline, this is no small task. But by prioritizing the well-being and balanced development of their children, Frederik and Mary are reinforcing the values they wish the monarchy to embody: stability, compassion, and an understanding of the world beyond palace walls. In Spain, King Felipe and Queen Letizia faced similar scrutiny when Princess Leonor was sent abroad for her studies. In Norway, the Crown Prince couple's decision to give their children a less formal education sparked debates about the role of tradition in a modern monarchy. And in Sweden, Crown Princess Victoria's careful schooling choices for Princess Estelle have been seen as a model for blending royal duty with personal growth. The Danish decision fits seamlessly into this continental trend, marking a generational shift in how future monarchs are prepared for their roles. The Danish public, known for its pragmatic approach to royalty, has largely embraced the change. Editorials in national newspapers praised the king and queen for putting their children first, noting that this decision reflects the very Danish value of ensuring young people have the space to develop at their own pace. Social media lit up with supportive comments, with many parents expressing admiration for the couple's willingness to adapt rather than cling to outdated traditions. Even so, there are voices of caution. Some royal commentators warn that increased integration into more ordinary educational settings could expose the children to risks, from security concerns to the challenges of navigating friendships in a world where everyone carries a camera in their pocket. Others point out that the weight of royal expectation cannot be avoided entirely, no matter the school environment. But Frederik and Mary seem unfazed by such warnings, confident in their ability to balance openness with necessary protection. By the end of their first week back on duty, the king and queen had already attended multiple events, hosted dignitaries, and engaged in behind-the-scenes preparations for upcoming state visits. Their calendar is as full as ever, yet they have made it clear that their children's needs remain a priority. This balancing act, between the public demands of sovereignty and the private responsibilities of parenthood, may well be the defining feature of their reign.